Welcome to our literature class. I am your literature guru and master, Kitagua Kevins. Kit Kevins, always talking ink. Today we are going to take a look at the visual elements and symbolism on the cover of our literary text, Fathers of Nation, written by Paul B Vitta. The cover of this book is basically a visual summary of the novel's satire. We shall look at a number of things. Number one, we are going to look at the two documents written, approved, and rejected. A close examination of the cover reveals two documents, each carrying distinct stamp, one reading approved, the other rejected. The imagery symbolizes the central conflict in the novel. That is the struggle between two development strategies, Way Omega, which is a people-centered approach or alternative, and Path Alpha, which is a Western imposed alternative. In the novel, in the summit, African heads of state or leaders are manipulated into adopting Path Alpha without sitting down and debating the same document. What we see is satire and irony of leaders who claim to be fathers of nations, but they cannot critically assess what they approve or adopt in the name of Path Alpha. Number two, we shall look at the title, Fathers of Nations. The title, Fathers of Nations. A father is basically someone who we shall say is responsible, is a protector, is a provider, provides guidance, and is also someone whom we rely on in a family. Therefore, fathers of a nation are supposed to be leaders who, without doubt, are supposed to provide all these distinct features of a father. But a closer look of the novel, we realize that we expect the leaders or the fathers of nations to exhibit such characters of a father. But a closer look of the novel Fathers of Nation, the title is ironic and satirical. The title itself challenges the reader to question who or what a real father really means. The fathers and the leaders of Africa act more of betrayers and stepfathers than what a real father really is. The real father of Africa appears to be characters like Pastor Chineke Chiamaka, Engineer Saif Tair, Comrade Ngobele Melusi, Professor Karanja Kimani, and Daktari Afolabi Abiola. The title, again, challenges the reader to ask, where are the women, where are the mothers of Africa? Does it mean that mothers cannot be put into leadership position? It begs the question, what is the position of women? What is the position of mothers when it comes to leadership? What is the plight of women in our society? Number three, if you take a closer look of this book, the title is written in yellow. Let us interrogate and interpret the meaning of the color yellow. Color yellow is basically a symbol of hope, a symbol of optimism. For example, when you look at the sun, the setting and the rising of a sun, the rising of the sun basically is a symbol of a new dawn, of a new beginning. The setting of a sun, which has the same color, is a symbol of the end of something and hopefully the beginning of something new that we await. Fathers of Nation being written in yellow basically is a symbol of hope. Characters in this story, the likes of Pastor Chineke Chiamaka, Engineer Saif Tair, Comrade Ngobile Melusi, and Professor Karanja Kimani, who have gone through a lot, are still optimistic and hopeful that someday Africa will find footing and be a better place for its citizens and its residents. That is hope. Number 4, we shall take a look at the official seal or a sundial. When we look at this particular cover of the book, you'll realize that the round seal resembling a sundial is an official stamp and draws focus to a number of things. One of them, it may represent the formal veneer of bureaucracy. The seal adds a sense of formality that belies the summit underlying affairs. The seal also suggests authority and formality. In the novel, the summit is staged like an official bureaucratic ritual. That is, leaders in suits are seen coming there, basically meeting in a grand hall, yet their decisions are very hollow. The bureaucratic process that masks the manipulation that we see that is underneath this particular kind of meetings. Behind the scenes, you will see how Path Alpha finds its way to being adopted and approved. That is basically the official stamp. Number 5, you realize that the cover of this book predominantly is covered in some dark muted sort of a color. This color portrays the seriousness and gravity, setting the tone for what the novel is going to satirize in terms of poor leadership and all those kind of things that happen in the story. Putting into consideration this dysfunction and moral ambiguity of leadership. The dark color also highlights the outward appearance and underlying chaos. This dark color is also what conveys tension, disillusionment, and the gravity of African struggle. In the novel, you will come across characters like Professor Karanja Kimani, Pastor Chineke Chiamaka, Engineer Seif Tair, and Comrade Ngobile Melusi. And if you look at their personal life, you'll realize that they have undergone personal disappointments, from betrayal to failed marriages to political marginalization, etc. All these are the pains that are actually seen through this dark muted cover. The dark cover is also what sets the atmosphere of the summit in this particular story. The summit itself is full of suspicion, secret plotting, and hopelessness. So basically, in a nutshell, you'll realize that the cover of Fathers of Nation is basically a visual summary of the entire novel satire of one. You realize that you're saying, in this novel, the leaders' empty rituals is basically embedded in the seal. You will realize when we talk about the competing ideologies is actually brought out in the 2 documents written, approved and rejected. That is basically Path Alpha and Way Omega. We shall also look at it in terms of failed fatherhood. The title is an indication of failed fatherhood. And lastly, African heavy atmosphere, which is brought out through the dark muted color. I have been your literature teacher today, literature guru and master Kitagwa Kevins, Kate Kevins, always talking ink.